Tonight, we are digging into the alarming teacher shortage being seen across the country and here in Oklahoma. A 2022 report on pandemic learning from the Government Accountability Office estimated that public education lost about 7% of its total teaching population between 2019 and 2021. Now, there are several issues contributing to that increased teacher turnover. We're looking into those and the efforts in our state to fix the problem. First, our Adam King looking into the timeline of education issues here in Oklahoma.
And Wendy, we've really got to start this with the 2018 teacher walkout when thousands of Oklahoma teachers, students and families gathered at the state capitol demanding higher raises, more funding for schools. A group of teachers also organized the March for Education where they walked from Tulsa to Oklahoma City. Now, nearly 200 school districts closed during the walkout. The Oklahoma Education Association led the strike, calling for a $10,000 pay increase, more than 3 years for every teacher. Let's take a look at the crowds that this brought out here. They also wanted a $5,000 increase for support staff as well as $200 million in additional funding for schools.
But it says a lot that our legislator cares more about our prison funding than our education. You know, these kids are our futures, and without my niece goes to the same elementary school I went to, and she has the same textbooks that I had when I was in elementary school.
I'm a first-year teacher, and even though I am a first-year teacher, I really want the best for my kids. I mean, I put money and time into what I do, and by golly, I want my kids to be taken care of.
You know, this whole issue is about us. It's, you know, these legislators aren't in our schools. These legislators aren't impacted by the funding cuts. We are.
After 10 days, the OAA called for an end to the strike, even as they fell short of their goals. In the end, teachers got a raise of about $6,000, depending on experience, $1,250 for support staff, and $50 million in school funding. Now, you fast forward to March of 2020. Schools shut down because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Several studies have showed an increase in stress and burnout among teachers related to the pandemic. And data from RAND.com.org shows almost half of the public school teachers who quit their jobs after March of 2020 left because of the pandemic. Now, some of the reasons behind added stress listed in that study were working more hours, navigating an unfamiliar remote environment, and health worries. Now, in 2021, now we've got where emergency certification reaching a new record in Oklahoma. OEA officials say the problem had been growing for a decade, but reached 3,800 in 2021. And teachershortages.com shows there were more than 1,000 teacher vacancies in Oklahoma for the 2022-23 school year, and a 10% leaving rate among educators. And with a rise in those emergency certifications, teachershortages.com also claims there were more than 2,900 unqualified teachers in classrooms. Now, you fast forward to this April, Superintendent Walters announced a teacher sign-on bonus incentive program to try to help address this shortage.
And tonight we're looking into that program to find out how it's working and how many new teachers we now have in Oklahoma classrooms because of it. Let's go to Fox 25's Tom Ferguson joining us live from OSDE headquarters. So Tom, first of all, why did officials bring on this program to begin with?
Well, that's right, Wendy. A department spokesman here tells me Oklahoma has struggled to keep and recruit quality teachers. But officials here hope that some big sign-on bonuses can help change that.
This chart from OSDE shows how much money new teachers can get based on several factors. This program targets those in pre-K through third grade classrooms and/or special ed. One superintendent did express some concerns, though.
Anything that we can do to try to attract new teachers is a positive. But I think this was something that was cobbled together, I think, with a funding source that was questionable with federal funding.
Matt Riggs with Macomb Public Schools says he understands the need for more new teachers, but also thinks more needs to be done for those already in the classroom.
We've seen budget cuts. We've seen, you know, the roller coaster with school funding, and those people stayed with it.
He's calling for retention bonuses to encourage current teachers to stick around.
We have to take care of the ones we have before we start worrying about the ones that are, you know, that we're trying to bring in.
Let's look at the numbers. Overall, according to OSDE, the program has brought 533 new teachers into classrooms for this year since it was announced in April, including 74 from out of state, 68 in high poverty districts, 24 to rural districts, with 76 in both rural and high poverty districts, according to department data. In total, 197 districts have gotten new teachers, says the department. But what are the numbers for metro districts? Here's who we heard back from. Edmond Public Schools says the program has worked well for them, and they had 15 to 20 teachers qualify. At Deer Creek, they've had 13. Oklahoma City had 7, and Middell had 1.
And the department tells us those numbers reflect individuals who qualify for the program pending certain requirements, and those include signing a 5-year teaching agreement. Live in Oklahoma City, Tom Ferguson, Fox 25 News.
All right, Tom, thank you. And here's another effort to get more teachers in the classroom. The Inspired to Teach Scholarship, an incentive program, gives college students the chance to earn up to $25,000 as they complete an educator preparation program and teach in Oklahoma. Full-time students can get $1,000 per academic year for up to 3 years and $2,500 for the final academic year. And after graduating and earning certification, participants can earn an extra $4,000 for every year they teach in Oklahoma public schools for up to 5 years. Now, there are several requirements for the program.
The Oklahoma City Public School Foundation also working to address the teacher shortage with their high school to teacher pipeline program. The OKCPS Bilingual Teacher Pipeline Program, launched in 2016, works with bilingual paraprofessionals already employed in the district who want to become teachers. In 2021, they expanded that program, adding the high school to the teacher pipeline program.
We started thinking about how can we continue to grow this program, and we look at our own students who mirror this same population that we're trying to grow in our workforce, and thought what a wonderful way to give them the opportunity to become teachers. We want teachers to reflect our student population. Our student population is very diverse.
The pipeline program offers bilingual and diverse OKCPS graduates the opportunity to get their teaching degree for free while also working for the district. After graduating, the educators are required to teach in the district for 3 years.
Back in May of this year, the governor and Oklahoma lawmakers announced an agreement on an education deal involving $625 million. $500 million going into the education funding formula. This includes teacher pay raises up to $6,000 and 6 weeks of paid maternity leave for teachers. $125 million going to the Redbud formula, which helps school districts with low tax revenue. There are also $10 million over 3 years for a literacy initiative and $150 million for a 3-year program for school safety and security.
The big picture here is the legislature behind me, the House, the Senate, we all want to have the best top 10 education system in the entire country. And that's what you're seeing today. You're seeing historic investments in education.
The plan also included $150 million for tax credits for private school tuition and homeschool funding for families in the state.
Last year, Governor Stitt made a comment in his State of the State address about competitive pay, going all the way up to 6-figure salaries.
Oklahoma students can't be the best without the best teachers. That's why I'm proposing matching funds so that our best teachers can make 6-figure salaries and stay in the classroom.
6-figure salaries would more than double the take-home pay of your average teachers, but some say it would create issues within the overall community of teachers.
The idea that a few of us will fight it out to make those kinds of wages, you're not going to build loyalty to the state. You're going to build resentment.
We should do something for teacher pay, but we should do something for the pay of every teacher.
Taking a look at the standard salary for Oklahoma teachers for the 2023-24 school year. According to numbers on oklahoma.gov, a first-year teacher with a bachelor's degree can make a salary ranging from about $39,600 to $47,500. For a master's, that range increases to $40,900 up to $49,100, and pay goes up based on years of experience all the way up to 25 years. The highest listed salary range right now is from $56,000 to $69,500.
Teacher pay and burnout from the pandemic aren't the only things contributing to the shortage. Last year, we spoke with school officials who say polarizing politics is driving educators away.
There are groups out there that want to focus on culture war issues that aren't even relevant to what's happening in school, but they say it loud enough and often enough that they get a following.
Why are we talking about these things that are just hot button topics and to get votes? Meanwhile, the real issues, are still there. They are just still there.
And the teacher shortage could be getting worse all across the country.
National Desk Angela Brown takes a look at a new report indicating which states are seeing the worst shortages.
The Florida Department of Ed says the state has over 4,700 open teaching vacancies. In North Carolina, more than 5,000. One reason? Pay. Our team of reporters talking to educators nationwide, including Shayna Pill in North Carolina, who left the classroom after a decade.
I don't receive enough pay to put food on my table and clothe my children, and they're on Medicaid and we receive food stamps.
New information from the National Education Association says nationwide over 314,000 job openings still exist in our schools, and over 286,000 of our educators in our schools are not certified for the subject they are teaching.
And we also know that when we do not have a qualified, certified teacher in front of students, it impacts their ability to learn.
Some say the teacher shortage is getting worse. Take Pennsylvania. Nearly 9,600 teachers leaving their jobs, the largest increase in the past decade. In Maine, more than 2,000 teachers and other educators quit or retired last year, the most in the past 7 years. Michelle Cook, College of Education, Clemson University.
One of the reasons why there is a teacher shortage is that sometimes folks leave pretty quickly once they become teachers. So there's an attrition rate, especially in the first 3 to 5 years.
In Washington, D.C., I'm Angela Brown.
And that was your big story breakdown. You can find more about the teacher shortage in Oklahoma and all across the country on OKCFox.com.
And if you missed any part of this big story breakdown, you'll find it all on our YouTube channel. Scan the QR code on your screen right there or search OKC Fox.